Dogs and cats living together. That's hysteria. Wow! Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
What's up, you blood-sucking bastards, and welcome back to the Lucid Nightmare. I'm your host, as always, Jay Schatzer, and today, well, I have a fantastic classic vampire tale lined up for us. It is Francis Ford Coppola's 1992 just masterpiece. It is Bram Stoker's Dracula, and this one is a work of art, so let's get in and check it out for ourselves. Here is Bram Stoker's Dracula. Bram Stoker's Dracula is a visually stunning and fantastically fantasy-infused look into the horror icon Dracula. Directed by legendary filmmaker Francis Ford Coppola, and based on the novel Dracula by Bram Stoker, with a screenplay by James V. Hart. The production abounds with a rich tapestry of gothic delights and astounding imagery that captures the cryptic nature of the story and plunges it into a wicked concoction that can't help but be adored. From its interesting casting choices to its overall atmospheric panache, there's a lot to like about this wondrous attempt at this classic tale of romance from beyond the grave, proving that Bram Stoker's Dracula is without a doubt a beautiful artistic masterpiece. The film follows the tragic life of 15th century Romanian monarch named Vlad Dracula, who after losing the love of his life, defies God's will and damns his soul for eternity, transforming him into an immortal creature who must feed on blood in order to survive. 4 centuries later, Dracula learns of a beautiful young woman named Mina, who is the reincarnated visage of his long-lost love. Determined to reunite and rekindle his passions, Dracula sets off to London, but his arrival does not go unnoticed as vampire killer Professor Abraham Van Helsing has caught wind of his recent bloodlettings at Carfax Abbey, and is vowed to put an end to his unholy tyranny once and for all. As vibrant and diverse as any cast in cinema, the lineup of actors and actresses within this robust production are quite peculiar and tremendously outstanding, with unusual choices aplenty and pitch-perfect picks that are to die for. From side characters to full-fledged starring roles, the performances on display are unquestionably eye-catching and definitively unforgettable, for better or worse. With heart, gusto, and a bit of overacting, the heavy hitters of this wild, sprawling horror epic are Gary Oldman as Dracula, the heartbroken and soulless romantic immortal who's desperate to reunite with his long-lost love. Anthony Hopkins as Professor Abram Van Helsing, an eccentric man of the world and one hell of a devout vampire hunter. Winona Ryder as Mina Murray, a beautiful innocent young woman whose destiny is entangled up in this undead affair. Keanu Reeves as Jonathan Harker, a timid and unlikely hero who fights for the hand, love, and soul of Mina. Sadie Frost as Lucy Westenra, Mina's vivacious and promiscuous best friend and child of the night. Tom Watts as Renfield, Dracula's faithful servant and quite mad slave. And finally, Richard E. Grant, Cary Elwes, and Billy Campbell as Dr. Jack Seward, Lord Arthur Holmwood, and Quincy P. Morris, Lucy's passionate suitors and unofficial vampire slayers. Stupendous across the board, the cast does a remarkable job with their respective roles, even if quite a few fall into that overacting department and feel somewhat out of place in this period piece. With that being said, everyone still manages to flow with the style and fanciful nature of the production, as the performances are absolutely memorable and intrinsic to the vast appeal of this fantastic story. Aside from the cast, the most appealing aspect of Bram Stoker's Dracula is the masterful direction of the film and the to-die-for visuals and practical effects of the production. Like a painting come to life, the imagery is a thing of beauty. From creative and foreboding rear screen projected sequences, to breathtaking matte paintings that perfectly capture the haunting nature of the subject matter, the optics of the picture are top-notch and extremely gothic through and through. On top of that, the creature effects and designs are inventive and truly macabre, giving a more bestial and animalistic manner to the flick, while also creating some stark visuals that really linger with the audience long after viewing. It's a brutal and visceral production to say the least, and the bloodletting is never shied away from or concealed, but rather celebrated in wild, reckless abandon. Remarkably sexy and unfettered when it comes to telling a rather dark and sensual tale of horrific delights, Bram Stoker's Dracula is a sumptuous vision to behold, which captures the iconic writings and age-old story to perfection, while giving it a fanciful and dreamlike presentation that borders on demented fairy tale with a glorified vampiric twist. If you love your films with an ambitious tone and a beautiful eye for detail, then Francis Ford Coppola's vision is a fantasy horror lover's absolute wet dream. In the end, Bram Stoker's Dracula is an unabashed and outstandingly wonderful horror masterpiece of epic proportions. And there you have it, children of the night. That is the fantastic Bram Stoker's Dracula. Just an absolute masterpiece, one of my absolute favorites of Coppola's. I just really love the style, the whole way it's presented, the dreamlike quality of the whole thing. Just really awesome, and it's just a really great watch for the month of October, and I really recommend it. But guys, that is it for me today. Hope you enjoyed that one, and I hope you like what I'm doing here. If you do, please like and subscribe. And if you have time, leave a comment below because I'd love to hear from you. But until then, I will see you all at the next movie review. Take care.